Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralf Friedrichs, your host. Today I want to talk about the importance of learning to forgive yourself as well as to forgive others, to move on, to live healthier without the stress of hate and discomfort in your life. So we're going to talk about the importance of forgiving yourself and others. But first, as always, I want to bring a shout out to my good friend Larry Geis at the Geis Academy at 516-485-2741, 516-485-2741. That's Larry Geis at the Geis Academy. You can find him on the website at www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach. He's also a life coach. He does exactly what I do. The only difference is that he has over 30 years experience. If you need help to walk from your addiction to your recovery daily, hand in hand, never talking about your past, never looking at your past, but moving on, looking into today, moving forward for tomorrow, Larry Geis from the Geis Academy is the person you need to talk to. You need to give him a call right now at 516-485-2741, 516-485-2741. Let Larry Geis help you take your life back. And when you do speak to him, tell him that Ralf Friedrichs from the Take Your Life Back Today show sent you over to him. Next is globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money, and I am focused on also saving you money by telling you this. globaleyeglasses.com now offers trial at home frames. Today I was talking to a gentleman in Michigan. He had ordered a couple frames, and he's all excited about this new program. This program launched about almost 2 weeks ago, and how it works is that you pick out the frames that you want sent home. You pay for 50% of the value of the frame. The frames get shipped over to you. You open the box. They're the frames. You can try them on by the mirror, show them to your friends, and show them to your family. When you look in the box, not only will you find the frame, you'll find a label with the return address to send the frames you don't want back for 100% full refund. You do, however, need to pay for the postage to send them back. The label is just with the return address, but send them back for 100% refund. The ones that you do like, that your family said you look awesome in, have those filled. And you can have them filled with progressives, transitions, photochromatics, high index, anti-reflecting coating, scratch coating. All that will be in at www.globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. You will get all those different options on their website at a fraction of the cost of any freestanding brick and mortar place. And why is that? Because their overhead is so much lower. They don't have all that storage to worry about. They don't have all the employees to worry about. They don't have that huge rent that is here in New York. As a matter of fact, their rent is tremendous for a brick and mortar freestanding store. That is all eliminated, and those savings are then brought right into your living room, right into your kitchen, where you can try these frames on, where you can order the glasses that you really like. Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. If you need to talk to me, give me a text at 631-599-0218, or you can call me on my hotline, 844-405-HELP. Folks, the importance of learning to forgive. Being a family member or a friend of an addict who is struggling is hell. It's a nightmare. But you have to learn to forgive. Under the powerful sway of drugs and alcohol, an addicted loved one can do and say things that tear through your soul like a dagger. Drug addiction steals the spirit of the addict and will attempt to drag you down along with your loved one. They will push and push and push. You, as the sober person, need to be strong. They lie to you, they cheat you, they play you off to others, and they lay to waste your sense of trust, love, and dignity. When the addict enters treatment and has to face the music, or the addict meets other consequences, you can feel utterly exhausted mentally and spiritually. If you are in this situation right now and have had recent experience, you may wonder where to even begin in starting to pick up the pieces that were broken. How do you learn to move forward with your own life and heal? You must learn to forgive. What is forgiveness? What is the definition of forgiveness? For those who have felt betrayed and shamed by the actions of the addict in their lives, you have every right to feel that way. You are deeply hurt, frustrated. Some of you might even be peed off. And that is okay. You need time to process and to give voice to those emotions. However, there's one thing you absolutely need to know. You must learn to forgive in order to truly move forward. When you learn to forgive, you are accepting the reality of what happened and finding a way to live in a state of resolution with it. The process of forgiveness is gradual and can take months and even years to complete. Ultimately, forgiveness is not centered on the person that has wronged you. Forgiveness is centered on you. What is hard to forgive? We know that we need to learn to forgive in order to move forward, but it can really be hard to do so. Your heart, mind may be filled with retribution and revenge, or you may not even know how to resolve the situation effectively within yourself. Additionally, you may find a victim mentality that comes with addiction hard to shake, or you may be afraid to connect with the addict. The feelings associated with these reasons can be resolved by simply knowing that forgiveness truly means and knowing the steps to forgive. To learn how to forgive, you need to know what forgiveness is not. Oftenest, we have misunderstandings on the true meaning of forgiveness. And those misunderstandings makes us hesitant to engage. To get past those barriers, you have to understand what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness doesn't mean you are pardoning or excusing the other person's actions. Forgiveness doesn't mean you need to tell the person that he or she is forgiven. Forgiveness doesn't mean you shouldn't have any more feelings about the situation. Forgiveness doesn't mean there is nothing further to work out in a relationship or everything else is okay now. Forgiveness doesn't mean you should forget the incident ever happened. Forgiveness does not mean you have to continue to include the person in your life. What do I need to do in order to forgive, you might ask? Learning to forgive is important, and learning to let go to let go is necessary to move forward. How do you do it, you might ask again? First, you must be willing to forgive, and that is a mandatory. If there is an unsettling feeling such as anger and pain, you must acknowledge and release the pain fully before starting forgiveness process can go into effect. In order to forgive the addict in your life, you first must fully acknowledge and accept that what happened, happened. You must accept the reality of the event or the events that have caused you pain and how it's affected your life and the people around you. Once you have done that, you need to think about how those experiences and lessons that have happened have taught you at all. How did you survive this, and how has it made you stronger and wiser? After that, you must look towards the addict and realize that, like all human beings, are flawed and things and can do things to others that are shameful. We must realize that the person that is addicted is a prisoner to their disease, and they need to work on themselves and do the heavy lifting in order to get better today. Most importantly, you must say or express, "I forgive you." You can find your own way to tell the addicted loved one that you don't have to give a lot of explanation to do so. Find a way to express your forgiveness to the addicted loved one. Express it and after you express it, move forward. Don't expect the addict to reach out first to make amends. Give yourself time, learn about their addiction, and if you need to help to process your feelings, seek help yourself. By learning to forgive, you are taking care of yourself and honoring yourself. The healing process needs to start, and the healing process needs to start today for each and every one of us. There is nobody in my audience, including myself, that is above the word forgiveness. When an animal makes a mistake, we forgive. When a child makes a mistake, we forgive. Well, when your loved one, addicted loved one, makes a mistake, learn to forgive for yourself and for that person. Because it is so important to forgive. Being a family member or a friend of an addict who is struggling is hell, and I grant you that. Under the powerful sway of drugs and alcohol, an addicted loved one can do and say things that tear through your soul like a dagger. Drug addiction steals the spirit of the addict, and will attempt to drag you down along with them. They lie to you. They cheat you. They play you off others, and they lay to waste your sense of trust, love, and dignity. When the addict enters treatment and has to face the music, or the addict meets other consequences, you feel utterly exhausted mentally and spiritually. If you are in a situation right now to have or have recent experience, you may wonder how to begin in starting to pick up the pieces. How do you learn to move forward, and how do you learn to forgive? You must learn to forgive. For forgiveness is the start of the healing process. What is forgiveness? For those who have felt betrayed and ashamed by the actions of the addict in their lives, you have every right to feel the way you do. You are deeply hurt, frustrated, and even peed off. And that is okay, because you are human. You have feelings. You need time to process and forgive and to give voice to those emotions. However, there is one thing you absolutely need to know, that you must learn to forgive in order to move forward. When you learn to forgive, you are accepting the reality of what happened and finding a way to live in a state of resolution with what happened. The process of forgiveness is gradual and could take months, even years, to complete. Ultimately, forgiveness is not centered on the person that has wronged you. Forgiveness is centered on you, my friend. Why is it so hard to forgive? People always ask. We know what we need to learn to forgive in order to move forward, but it can be really hard to do so. Your heart and mind may be filled with retribution and revenge, or you may not know how to resolve the situation effectively within yourself. Additionally, you may find a victim mentally and mentality that comes with the addiction hard to shake, or you may be afraid to connect with the addict himself. The feelings associated with these reasons can be resolved by simply knowing that forgiveness truly means knowing the steps to forgive. To learn how to forgive, you need to know what forgiveness is not. What forgiveness is not. Oftentimes we misunderstand the true meaning of forgiveness, and those misunderstandings makes us hesitant to engage. To get past those barriers, you have to understand what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness doesn't mean you are pardoning or excusing the person's actions. Forgiveness doesn't mean you need to tell the person that he or she is forgiven. Forgiveness doesn't mean you shouldn't have any more feelings about the situation. Forgiveness doesn't mean there is nothing further to work out in the relationship, or that everything is okay now. And forgiveness doesn't mean you should forget the incident ever happened. And last but not least, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to conclude that individual in your life. What do I do? What do I need to do in order to forgive? Learning to forgive is important, and learning to let go is necessary to move forward. Forgive and move forward. How do you do this, you might ask? First, you must be willing to forgive, and that is a mandatory stipulation. If there is unsettling feelings such as anger and pain, you must acknowledge and release that pain fully before starting the forgiveness process. In order to forgive the addict in your life, you first must fully acknowledge and accept what has happened and why it has happened. You must accept the reality of the event or the events that have caused you the pain and how it has affected you in your life. Once you have done that, you need to think about those experiences and the lessons and what they have taught you. How did you survive this, and how has it made you stronger and wiser? After that, you must look towards the addict and realize that, like all human beings, are flawed and can do things to others that are shameful. We must realize that a person that is addicted is a prisoner to their own disease, and they need to work on themselves and do the heavy lifting in order to get better right away. Most importantly, I repeat, most importantly, you must say or express, "I forgive you." 3 words. I forgive you. You can find your own way to tell the addicted loved one, and you don't have to give it a lot of explanation. Use whatever words you want, but those 3 words, I forgive you, will release a lot of anger and emotion out of your body, which in return will give you less stress. Express it and move forward. Don't expect the addict to reach out at first and make amends. Give yourself time. Learn about the addiction, and if you need to help to process your feelings, you, my friend, need to seek help. By learning to forgive, you are taking care of yourself and honoring the people around you. If you have any questions whatsoever about the forgiveness process, if you have any questions about what is forgiveness and what forgiveness is not, reach out to me at 844-405-HELP or call Larry Geis at the Geis Academy at 516-485-2741. That's 516-485-2741. You can reach him at the Geis Academy. You can go online and you can find him on the web at www.odysseyconsultant.org. That's www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-485-2741. Folks, please, any questions, text me, 631-599-0218. That's 631-599-0218. If anyone needs glasses out there, go to www.globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money, and you will find over 1,200 frames on their website. You can take some of those frames home to try on, to show your loved one, to show your family, to show your mirror. Folks, it really comes down very simply. Forgiveness is an important factor in our life, and we all need to learn to live and love one another. But you'll never, ever live to learn and love if you don't learn to forgive. We as humans all make mistakes. Some huge, some not so. The bottom line is, you have to learn to forgive. I know so many people in my life that maybe have wronged me or I have wronged. But at the end of the day, those people, including myself, we still talk, we still communicate, and we have learned to live and let live and to forgive. A lot of us might have not forgotten, but we have learned to forgive. To release all that stress that's within you, the process is learning to forgive. All the changes that I speak of each and every day on my episodes, on my show, all happen with tiny little steps. We all, as adults, some of us parents, some of us grandparents, some of us might be both, must lead by example. If you truly want your children to look through their beautiful little eyes and look at you as the hero and the role model, lead by example. What does that mean? That means if you don't want your kids to smoke, don't smoke in front of them. If you don't want them to drink and do drugs, do not do the same in front of them. And if you don't want them to use profanity, don't do it in front of them. And most importantly, we need to teach our kids that it's so important that we physically never abuse another person. If you have any of these conditions, if you have a substance issue, whether it be drugs and alcohol, if you have anger issues, do yourself and your children and grandchildren a favor and seek the help that you so desperately probably need. You can reach out to me at 844-405-HELP, and I will try to help you find someone that is out there that can help you. I don't know what your financial situation is, but almost every state has some sort of help that's available for low-income people. Folks, if you start thinking positive in your life, and I mean real positive, you will see positive results. And if you're ready to break that wall of denial that you know you have because you have an alcohol and drug problem, break that wall today. Let that wall come down and seek some spiritual help from your God. You will see changes that will make your head spin. Financial changes, physical changes, relationships changes, and spiritual changes. All that will come as you start the process of recovery. The biggest obstacle that people face when they're trying to make that leap from substance abuse to sobriety, the biggest obstacle is that big wall of denial that's in between. Take it down. Take it down today, for tomorrow might not be here. For some of us, there might never be a tomorrow. But I'm here to tell you right now, there's someone right now in the world that's taking their last breath and closing their eyes for the last time. Those people might have not had the chances for change like you, if you're watching me, has. If you can't do it for yourself, if you don't love yourself enough, do it for your children, do it for your grandchildren, but make the changes today. Folks, I hope to God that each and everyone in my audience has the best day of their life today. But more importantly, I hope and I pray to my God that each and every one in my audience has a sober day. Because if a sober day is here today for you, that extends a better tomorrow for you. I hope and pray to God you have a sober day, and may God bless you.